Well, hello there, people within the lads, and hello again, I'm TheMBmulti. Welcome to part, I believe this is 11 of my Doki Doki Lost Ascension Let's Play series. In the previous episode, we had the impossible breakfast. Well, that was the episode before that, but where, you know, I was once again questioning the whole premise, pretty much, of this entire mod. But yeah, they know they're in a fucking game and they know that everything is a lie, but yet they somehow make breakfast and eat it, even though they should know that it's impossible. But they only choose to have an existential crisis about what is impossible when it suits them. And a lot of times they have reminisce happy memories, even though they should know that those are lies as well. And they eat breakfast, even though they should know that that's not anything. There is not any form of breakfast in the game files. Just random text saying that they're doing it. But okay, ranting aside, this is actually Yuri. The box is pink again, but it is actually Yuri. So it's supposed to be purple. A quiet room. A quiet day, a quiet life. It's everything I've ever wanted. I sighed to myself as I looked down, my thoughts running wild as I tapped my pen on my desk. You okay, Yuri? You seem a bit off. I looked up as Natsuki interrupted my thoughts. She was standing in front of my desk with a concerned look on her face, her eyes searching mine for some kind of answer. I'm fine, thank you for asking. I'm just not sure what to write for my poem today. I said dejectedly as I put a pen down and looked over at the clock. I had already been sitting there for a few minutes. Wait, hold up. Don't we have pre-written poems or something? Why are you writing another one? Do you want to mess with Monika's plan or something? I looked up at her and narrowed my eyes a bit. I was going to wait to tell you, but since you don't seem to have any patience... Oh! I guess I can explain my idea now. I immediately realized that my words had come out a lot more harshly than I had intended. Space? And I quickly covered my mouth with my hands. Natsuki seemed a bit taken aback by my words, but she didn't back away immediately, as I was half expecting her to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get rude, Natsuki replied quickly. It's okay, seriously. I know you're just nervous, kinda like me with my ideas. I sighed as the possibilities of the numerous negative endings in my head dissipated. Natsuki wasn't taking my responses to heart as much as some other people would. Right, well, I wanted to suggest to Monika that we could come together in the evenings with some new poems. Just so we have something to break up the coding lessons. I felt my confidence raise when I noticed Natsuki's eyes light up. Unlike these poems we're sharing with... It's so every time when I see how ridiculously angry they are getting towards him for absolutely no reason, I just like, It's really becoming a chore to get through this mod, honestly. Just how completely unjustified how unjustified their hate is towards the MC for absolutely zero reason. Even he did absolutely nothing wrong. And even if he did, I didn't see anything. I just have to believe Monika's words, which is already 50 million times less effective than me actually seeing it. And also, this is supposed to be my character, and if you've seen some of my other Doki Doki stuff, the videos that I've made, I always like to, you know, pretend the MC's not a different character and just like to pretend it's me, which is why I sometimes get a bit too emotional when bad things happen or when stupid decisions happen or whatever, because like, I would never do that, you know, because, but, you know, so it's fucking ridiculous. Like, just because they're sharing the poems with him, like, him, even just saying the word him, like, oh, that's so fucking frustrating to read and listen to and see and whatnot. That first of all, and also the fact that, you know, just because they have shared those poems automatically makes those poems like disgusting, or like, you know, like any atom that has any connection to that poem, just because it has to be shared with him. Him, I said the word again. that automatically makes the entire poem worth so much less. Ugh, like, that entire way of thinking is just so incredibly toxic and so fucking disgusting to see as well. I mean, yes, I get it if it's, you know, if the him in question is, I don't know, Hitler or something, you know? Like, then I completely understand your way of thinking then, you know? But, again, this isn't, we're not talking about Hitler here. We're talking about a guy who is forced to watch his friends kill themselves over and over again. How on earth is he on the same level as someone who murdered millions of people? Like, what's worse, someone who actually murdered millions of people, or someone who is forced to watch his friends be murdered over and over again on a loop? Like, it's a fucking easy answer. And yet they side with Monica, who is actually the one who kills people, who is actually the person who has killed, well, not millions, but, you know, has killed, like, a whole bunch of, you know, it's the same people, it's the same, what's it, 4? No, 3. Yeah, Natsuki, Sayori, and Yuri. So, she killed the same 3 people over and over again. But, you know, numerically or whatever, like, the numbers do stack to some extent, you know? So, yeah, they're so what you actually say, they're choosing Hitler over... Alright, well... But yeah, they do choose someone who has forced them to kill themselves over and over again, over someone who is technically their friend, and, is forced to watch them die over and over again. Why the hell does he not deserve any sympathy? Oh yeah, you see, like, there was nothing wrong with those. They're just saying that just because. Like, oh, it's pre-made, and oh, it's made by the game developer, and automatically that's disgusting. Like... You must hate your appearance as well, because this sprite was because you don't actually look like that. This is just a random PNG image that's used, which again you should know, but you forget magically when it suits you. That was also made by the mod developer. And Monica was talking a little bit about that, where she's like, I don't really want to wear my hair like that. But the way they're responding here, like anything and everything made by either the game developer or that has any relation to the MC is automatically like worth less. Which is, first of all, a very bad way of thinking that anything is worth less than you just because of some arbitrary reason. That's already a poor way of thinking in general. And also it's just ridiculous because that's their entire world that they live in. So they absolutely hate everything about every aspect of their own world. Including themselves, because their entire personality as well, their personality, their traits, their likes, their dislikes, their memories, even though they all know that all of that is fake and fabricated, but again, they conveniently forget from time to time. All of that, and even their appearance, the sprite that they use, absolutely everything was made by, you know, the game developer. And here they're like, anything that the game developer has touched, they're like, oh, pre-written mess. Ugh, oh my god, disgusting. So, you know, like they absolutely hate that. But their own appearance and their own personality, which was fabricated just as much as those pre-written messes, they don't hate that at all. They love it. They're fantastic. Like, it's ridiculous. You can't just do that. You have to, like, if you... It's so weird. It's maybe a bit over the top to compare that with the... No, I was gonna make a very on-the-nose Nazi comparison, but maybe that's not a good idea. But, it's like, a government, you know, that's like the gaming developer or whatever. Like the government bans, makes a rule or something, and then, you hate the government for some reason, and you like anything that the government has ever done or touched or what have you, you criticize that just for no just because you hate the government. You automatically criticize absolutely everything that the government has ever done, except for that one rule that they made, because that actually is beneficial to you. Like, how hypercritical can you be? Because that's pretty much what they're doing. They're like these pre-written messes, all disgusting, made by the game developer. Ugh, it's so terrible. Like, the problem is not terrible. They're just saying that because they hate the coding, the game developer, the code, or what have you. But they don't actually hate the poem. They just hated that it was made by someone else, and they didn't make it themselves. That's why they hate it. But all of the other stuff, which, like I said, is everything in their entire world, which was made by the exact same guy that they hate here, they're fine with. Like, extremely hypercritical. Is that even a word? The correct word? I don't know. But anyway, it's completely it's wrong. It's ridiculous. They make a humongous statement. Oh, we hate absolutely everything that this guy's ever done. But then they use that, which the guy has also done, but just because they don't hate it. Or whatever. Just because they're actually fine with using it. And then it's fine. Then they just magically forget that was made by the exact same person that they hate here. It's so ridiculous. Like, it's such a chore to go through this mod. It's honestly... There's the completely unnecessary hate and toxicity towards, well, in general, actually, just like, again, if it was aimed at like Hitler or something, then I can understand. Like, the only thing that would get annoying at that point is how often it happens. Like, yeah, we know he's a bad guy, get on with the story. That's the only thing that would that would bother me at that point, if it happens too often, like, yes, we know or whatever. But then, but here it's just like they're so toxic and they're so what have you, like I also read somewhere on people on Reddit that says that didn't like this, that gave some criticism on the mod. They also said like they all have very much a what's it called, like a victim syndrome or whatever, that they all feel like they are the only ones that get hurt, and then they just completely ignore the fact that the MC is also getting hurt. Which is very true, because like I said, they all act as if they're all better than the MC. Even though they are the same bits of code pretty much, the MC has gone through, arguably has gone through a lot worse than what they went through. I mean, being forced to watch your best friends kill themselves over and over again is in my mind, a bit worse than dying over and over again. Well, it's a little bit of a toss-up between physical pain and, like, mental pain, But I think you get what I mean. Like, it's pretty fucked up that you have to watch your friends get killed over and over again. And you just have to live with that. And then knowing and wanting to do something about it, but you can't because you're forced to stand by the sideline. And they all act as if he's the bad guy somehow. And not only that, they act that they're all better than him. Like, they know that they are bits of code. And he is as well, but they all act as if they are better bits of code than him. Like, what the fuck? That's not the girls that I've met in even in the original story, or in other mods where they were self-aware. Or just in other mods in general. That's just not what... It doesn't really feel like them. And it's very difficult to read through, because it's just so unfair. And just the level of toxicity is just like, ugh. Is there like a very, very big barrier for me to come to break through every single time when it pops up. And very difficult for me to not go into a rant like this, because I feel like I've done this in every single video so far, and which is annoying because I want to fucking go through this mod and and finish it as fast as possible so I can move on to something else. But it's just like I can't not say anything about it when it pops up. Natsuki nodded as she listened to me eagerly. She seemed to really like the idea. Do you think it's a good idea? I'm not sure if Monica will like it. She nodded before looking at me with a small pout. Yeah, I guess, but only because that way I can prove that I'm a better writer and poet. I laughed at her softly as Natsuki pouted even more in response. I'll prove that I am. Just you watch, Yuri. She walked to her desk and sat down with a huff, her pen immediately going to town on her new open notebook. I almost said bad. She's quite the conundrum. But she is really fun to hang out with. It almost feels like she's trying to impress me or something. I looked back down at my paper, feeling a new inspiration come over me as I let my mind run free. I looked over at Natsuki and back to my sheet again as it formulated itself. I picked up my pen after a few more moments and began to write swiftly on this blank slate, a fresh idea having come to reality. My thought process was unfortunately interrupted almost right away by someone entering the room and letting out an exasperated sigh. That was too far. I looked up and saw Monica standing in the doorway with a winded face, her body shaking a little as she recovered. Enjoy your sprint here? It seems like you did. Natsuki spoke loudly. It was extremely obvious that she was teasing her. Yep. It was a nice and long run. Monica finally got her breath under control and as she stood up straight and smiled. She glanced at the two of us. Did I miss anything important? She brushed herself off and I looked back down at my paper. It was currently titled Windward Journey. I hadn't finished my poem yet, so I shook my head, hoping to let my idea simmer a little more before revealing it. Actually, Monica, Yuri had this great idea to share with you. I personally enjoyed it. I should look over at her. She was smiling playfully as Monica turned her attention towards me. My fear of interaction spiked up immediately at her curious stare. Oh? Yuri had an idea? Yeah, that sounds a bit condescending. It's not like that was a rare occurrence or anything. I stared back at Monica and let my nerves calm down a little before nodding. I had a great idea, or at least that's what Natsuki thinks. I stood up and brought my partially finished poem over to her. I held it out and she took it. She seemed a bit perplexed as she looked down at it. She read it over a few times, something forming in her facial expression. I wasn't sure if she was just confused or something else, but I felt my back tense up as I looked away from her, hoping she wasn't going to be angry. It's new. I looked at her as my fears continued to build up, my doubts beginning to take shape again. Did she not like it? I know it wasn't finished. Maybe she doesn't understand what I want. I felt my face burn up as I searched her face for an answer. She didn't seem to be leaning in any one direction from what I could tell. Is it that bad? Did I ruin this idea already? Why am I being that bad at... Yuri, this is amazing. The feeling in my body... What? The feeling in my body froze. Okay. For a moment, it felt like something on my arm was burning a little. I had grabbed my arm and squeezed it while waiting for an answer. However, the burning subsided quickly as her words sunk in. I felt a bolt of shock course through my veins. What? You think so? Monica looked at me with a smile. Same expression as before. Because there are only a few sprites she can use. Which again, you should know, ha! It wasn't disappointment. What is this expression? Yes, your wording, your rhymes, your way of presenting yourself. It portrays everything you are as a person. Made by the mod developer that you all hate. Or game developer, technically, but you know. I was a bit confused, but it clicked when I thought about it. But I thought... I'm not even going to go back and read that again. She's never seen me write an actual poem on my own before, has she? Thank you. She handed it back to me, and I held the sheet close to myself, a warm feeling flowing within me, knowing that I had written something considered amazing. Now, what was it that you wanted to say besides showing me this? It must be good if this is associated with it. It froze up again as the feeling crawled back up the skin on my arm. I kept my hand away from my arm this time. Come on, Yuri, you can do this. I closed my eyes as I composed my thoughts and spoke to her as professionally as I could. Monica, I would like to request that we have actual club meetings at Sayori's house. Every meeting we can share new and better poems that aren't just generic, like the ones we... I'm not even gonna finish sentences like that anymore, I guess. That's at least one way to get through this mod a bit faster. Her eyes widened as she listened. She thought about it for a few seconds before nodding in approval. A smile soon replaced her curious expression. That's a wonderful idea, Yuri. You can write poems now and then... We can write poems now and then present them when we get home. You also know that Sayori's home is now your home because, again, you should know, out of all people, especially you, Monica, that nobody has an actual home to go home to. She looked around the room for a moment, appearing to be in thought as she noticed the clock. We can tell Sayori when she gets here, but I really do like that idea, Yuri. I think it will help us out heavily during our more stressful times. Oh yeah, because they're in such a stressful position right now. They don't even have to do what the fuck they're doing with the MC. They could just hang out in a different part of the game and not be bothered by the MC that they hate so much at all. They could just hang out in Sayori's house forever. They know that they don't actually have school, or that they get suspended if they, if they skip school because they know that it's all fake. They could just chill in Sayori's house. What the fuck is the MC gonna do about it? Or the magical player that's sort of me but not really me? What the fuck is he gonna do? Nothing. So, you're just doing this to yourselves. Which again, I still think the hidden message of this mod is that it's actually a Monica's revenge story. Where she like brainwashes all the other girls to take revenge on the MC for not picking her and deleting her character file. And making up this fake story and stuff. It would actually make all of the bad interactions with the MC like 10 times better, because it's just like, oh, they're all brainwashed by Monica's words, and Monica's the actual big bad here. Would make all of this shit from the mod that I've seen like a million times better, actually. So there's a big twist at the end where like, yeah, Monica's actually really evil. This deed will certainly help bring us closer together as a club. Thank you so much for this. How the fuck did you not think of that your own, Monica? There's also a bit of a weird thing there, that you didn't think of that yourself. I felt the feelings in my body finally fade away as she said that. It was replaced with that warm, welcoming feeling as that I was starting to experience more often while I was around them. My fears drifted into the back of my mind once more as I smiled, satisfied with my success. Monica turned heel and briskly made her way up to her podium, flipping through the pages of her notebook to a blank sheet and going into thought. Can't read today. Relief flowed through my veins as I returned to my desk. I watched Monica for a few more moments before looking down at my partially written poem. I picked up my pen, ready to continue writing my poem and hopefully finishing it this time. Don't do that.